Hello and welcome to the first edition of Ray's Roll-Up Report. Hopefully the first of many audio and soon-to-be video updates on YouTube. Just to get some plugs out of the way, you can send questions for me at rza368hotmail.com, or on Twitter at Raymond_Laney. Once again, that email address is rza368@hotmail.com, or Twitter at Raymond_Laney. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk to me about, or anything you'd like me to comment on, or any news that you would like me to talk about, you can email me or send me messages on Twitter. Also leave comments and let me know what you think of the show so far. With that out of the way, let's talk about Raw and SmackDown. Really, I really want to touch on the state of WWE before I even do that. So I will be releasing some more content, and we'll go into more of, I'll do reviews on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and I will be doing the pay-per-views as well. But for the first episode here, I just want to talk about the state of WWE. A little bit about myself first of all. I go back to about the mid to late 80s as far as watching wrestling, so a little before the Attitude Era, or that's how everybody wants to consider, that's what it's called, the Attitude Era. A little bit before the Attitude Era, I've been watching. So needless to say, I've been watching for a couple of decades now. And the product, what they have out now it's crazy, because if you go back to some of the shows in the 80s, I don't think they have them on the network yet, but wrestling classics like Wrestling Challenge, and Superstars. They would have these weekly episodes, and some of the talent they had back then. You're talking about, let's go back to look at, Hogan and Randy Savage, Big Boss Man, Jake the Snake Roberts. You had some really, really, some timeless guys, Ultimate Warrior as well. But there, for every one of those, there was a warlord or some of the other talent that they had. And I look at it and I said to myself, wow, it was a big man's era. That's what it was. It was all about bigger guys. The bigger, the better. That's what Vince wanted. And we had great memories from it. But the thing is, I look at the talent back then and I look at it now. Even Rick Martel, Tito Santana. There was a lot of underused talent even back then. And I think that's a common trend you even see now, more so now. I tell you, these guys and the girls, especially the women too, they have so much more talent from a in-ring work standpoint. The talent that they have is just incredible. And I know for a while I was hearing, for a few years, going back a couple years ago, not even that long ago, people were saying, oh, they don't have the talent, they don't have the superstars. And I really disagreed with that, because they really do have a lot of great wrestlers, male or female. Down the line, you can arguably say this is the most talented roster that they probably have ever had. The problem is that the booking and how they're portrayed on screen, and what creative is doing as well, is really hurting them. It's hurting a lot of these people, these wrestlers. And the Becky Lynches and Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, they really should be, pushing them in the forefront. And that was a little bit of my issue that I saw when I was watching Raw Monday night. I'm sitting here listening, watching it, and even after watching Survivor Series and seeing Triple H come out, and I'm like, okay, this guy's on the forefront now still. And listen, don't get me wrong, he brings a lot of star power. He's one of the bigger attractions there, and has been for a long time. But now he's really taken a background role, and to have him come back out, it's like, it works in the fact that Kurt Angle's there, and it makes sense. But I think that's where a lot of the problem is. It's like, do you guys remember why you ended up buying WCW? The reason why that happened, well, one of the reasons, I don't want to say the main reason, one of the reasons was talent, and the talent they underused. And look at all the talent that what came over to them because they weren't being utilized in WCW. And now it's like, because they have no competition, I think that's really a problem with WWE. I think them not having competition, serious competition, has made them really, honestly, be lazy. They're just lazy. They make a joke of a lot of things. There's no intensity. The intensity is so lacking. Even in the feuds, you have these feuds, and like, I want to see. Let me see two guys that really hate each other, and I think because of how wrestling has changed, as far as from a kayfabe standpoint, back in the day, these guys didn't, it was hard to break, you didn't break character, and when you did, I think it was Iron Sheik and Hacksaw Jim Duggan, if I remember correctly, they got caught in the car with drugs or whatever, and and it was like, wow, why are these two riding together? But it happened, every once in a while, but it wasn't big news. Now everybody's just, they got YouTube channels, they hang out there, which is fine, and I actually like a lot of their content, but it has, between that and everything else that's going on, it really has taken away from that feeling of, wow, these guys really don't like each other, or these girls really don't like each other. And it has hurt the product a little bit, a lot. But that's not really the biggest issue. I really believe creative and booking is, and I'm not even a part of the business. I have a friend that is in the business. I don't have any links toward, with the business or the company, but from that standpoint. However, when you see what's going on a daily basis, it's kind of, or with Raw, weekly basis, Raw and SmackDown, it's kind of like, oh man, this is it's problematic. There are some things that they do, I'm like, all right, I'm okay with. I think Roman gets a Raw deal. I think the guy's a hell of a worker. He does what he can do. He may not be the guy or the guy that people want to be, but that's the thing. WWE is just turning out heel, and then they try and make a face, and they kind of force feed you, and Roman was that guy, and people haven't accepted him well. But I think the guy works very hard, and I mean, every time he's in the ring, he really gives good matches. He tries his hardest. And then I see people, fans, the fans are sometimes I think you guys are a little bit to blame too. We're our own worst enemies, we want this, we want that, and we just, we want to bash WWE. The one thing I will say, and take this with a grain of salt, because they really, they do know what they're doing. All right, they do. They troll us. They make fun of us. They know what they're doing. I do think that there are certain people who are probably in charge who are a little bit out of touch, and it's hurting the product as well. But I just feel that it could be so much better. And I want to see better, because with the roster that they have from top to bottom, I mean, even the mid carders, low carders, you have guys that are extremely talented. I mean, thank God for NXT, but I feel as far as the main show, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and they can get there, and they can do it. But they're gonna really have to kind of really take some advice from us, the fans, and maybe listen to these podcasts and other videos, and maybe they can apply that and they really take a lot of stuff out of NXT and put that on their show, on their main show, and let's let these other guys, John Cena's, the Randy Ortons of the world, and Randy, believe it or not, to his credit, has helped push over a lot of people. So put over a lot of people, he really has. He's tried his damnedest. So I mean, who he put over is another question, but I think they're we need to push away from the older talent and let's these newer guys, and even some of these newer guys, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, they're not, even Samoa Joe, they're not young themselves, but they're new to the product. They're new to us, coming through NXT, new to WWE. So they really do need to, push them while they still have them, so they can bring up other talent, and we can, and the circle of life, man, so it can keep going. So I just wanted to touch a little bit and get this first episode out. I'll definitely approve, and I'll get better, and I'm going to try my hardest. And if you have, like I said, I do have a lot of knowledge, and next episode I'm going to review Raw. I'll probably do Raw and SmackDown just to get both in there. All right, and then I'll do NXT as well. So, like I said, if you have any questions for me, any questions, suggestions, anything to help improve, or anything you want to know or talk about, because let's face it, that's why I'm doing this podcast, because I want to talk wrestling, and I want you guys to talk wrestling with me. So let's make that happen. Once again, it's RZA368 at hotmail.com, or you can reach me on Twitter at Raymond_Laney. Once again, I just want to thank everybody for listening, and have a good night.